Not all signs of stress indicate deception, but they may be signs of incriminating potential. That's tip number 71. Welcome back to 101 Tips for Interviewing and Interrogation. Stan Walters, your host, and we're talking about tip number 71. One of the things that we mess up on a lot of times is we've been misdiagnosing stress signs as always being signs of deception. So that's commonly why we miss those deception cues. We're assigning deception to a wide range of behaviors that nothing more could be background stress. But I want you to think a little bit further about this background stress. These cues may not be signs of deception, but they may have some incriminating potential. That's like what we used in our research when I was working in New York with John Jay College and looking at human behaviors during interrogations done by NYPD. We found that some behaviors tend to have a spike. In other words, there was a higher stress level at some points. Now, these cues were not signs of deception. However, there tended to be a strong association that something is amiss in that area, that your subject being victim, witness, or subject, is having problems emotionally or cognitively with that particular area. So what we're looking for is, first of all, be sure you've got to have a very good baseline. You must have established an extremely good reading and understanding of the subject's constant or baseline of behavior. We talked about that earlier in another one of our tips, and the amount of time that takes is up to you. But can you articulate that to me is the key. So once you find that baseline, do you find a significant shift in the verbal cues and the nonverbal cues that stands out above the base of behavior? It's created a huge spike in noise. This is very typical in the early stage of your interview. So in the early stages, you're looking for where could be the possible topic areas. Now, in that first run through, you don't always have very clear line or demarcation of where those lie signs might be. Remember, we talked that lie signs are very faint and they tend to be very rare, unless the interviewer energizes that place by targeting questions, Googling your subject, look at that tip, Googling the subject with that particular area. How do you find that area? That's what incriminating potential is. So maybe the content of the speech, for example, the quality of the voice, there's a moment the subject becomes extremely loud or becomes very agitated and speech speeds up significantly. Okay, or you have a sudden burst of speech. That's not deception cue. Both truthful and deceptive subjects will do it. But it tells you that that area is of significance to that person. Now you've got to figure out if it's that deception or is it just background stress. For example, with the victim, this could be the biggest problem area for them emotionally. Could that be a reaction that prevents you from making progress and getting information? With the suspect or subject, possibly this is a hot issue area they don't want to disclose and causes a significant change in behavior. Not necessarily deception, but it will be worth your time to probe deeper, do a better Google search of that topic area, and see if now you cause the subject's lie cues to appear and to be more profound or more pronounced for you to pick out. One example to think of when incriminating potential is in, for example, the roadside or field interview. Maybe interviewing the driver, the witness on the scene, the possible subject after robbery, etc. And you pick up that incriminating potential spike on a particular topic area around the store, area around the home, the burglary scene, the fire scene, accident scene, vehicle, that type of thing. So that tells you that that area has got some significance to it. That stimulus of that question, or maybe the photograph, or maybe the witness statement, you got the idea. What is it that's setting them off? So when you move from narration to cross-examination, that's a topic area that's worth your time to dig into, particularly if you keep seeing or picking up incriminating potential in the same area 2 to 3 times. So you're missing something in that area that it needs attention. So potential can be in both ways. It can be an innocent person, truthful person having difficulty with that topic area. But it also can be the subject who's having trouble because of some undisclosed, either by omission or withholding information, their avoidance behavior that you need to probe a little bit further, like where there's a gap in time, etc. Okay? So think of incriminating potential not in the legal sense that it always incriminates a person as being deceptive, but it is the hot issue. Target that spot, use cross-examination on that, do a better Google search, look for it, stay consistent, and see if you have an increase in possible lie cues. So think about the incriminating potential each time. And so we got to be sure we don't misdiagnose. Deception is potential, and that's where we're making a mistake at diagnosis. Always follow up. Be sure to hit the like button, and in particular share button if you will below. Appreciate that a lot. Again, trying to spread this series as far as we can. If you're interested in looking at programs for your roadside interviews, or for your street and patrol officers, for intelligence folks, or for your internal CID guys, give me a call. Let's see what we can do in putting together a program that fits the specific needs for your particular agency or your association as they deal with the critical interviews that they are conducting. So I'll see you next time for tip number 72. This is Stan Walters. Be safe.